you're over the age of 35, stop everything you're doing right now. After a lifetime of eating fatty foods, you may run the risks of a stroke or heart attack due to plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. To learn how you can reduce your risks, visit youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today. This may be a life-changing call for you or someone you love. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.
All right, man, we got a developing story that's going down over there in Calabasas, California, where Will Smith, allegedly resides. Now, Los Angeles sheriffs, right? Here's some footage right here. They were seen actually visiting the home of Will Smith on Tuesday. That was 2 days after the actor slapped Chris Rock on stage of the 2022 Oscars. Now, officers were spotted driving in the gates of Smiths Calabasas mansion. And they had patrol cars, as you can see right there. It was around close to about 3 p.m. California time. Now, Splash News reported, right, that, and took the photos, right, that, they were there. Actually, they did go to his house, right, but the Los Angeles police spokesperson went on to say that we were sent there. They actually sent a unit over there to try to locate the drone and see if there was paparazzi, what was going on, right? But by the time they got there, the drone was not there. Now, I guess you guys are probably wondering, like, what the heck are they doing over there for a drone? Well, what remains up in the air right now, because we know that Chris Rock did not press any charges against Will Smith for doing that. Apparently, charges could be looming. There's a possibility still. Now, the Los Angeles city attorney could bring charges based upon evidence without necessarily relying on the victim. Now, again, that's in certain states, let's just say, given an example, right? A domestic violence, you get into a fight with your girl, boom, boom. It's like you cut her face up, you swallow her face up. Let's just say, not that we condone any of that, right? The police come to the crib, right? Let's say if you had a camera, they seen it on camera. But let's say if it wasn't on camera, right? The police come and they observe that your woman has a mark on her face, and your woman says, well, I'm not trying to press charges. In certain states, the state can actually pick up that particular case and move forward with it. Now, this was something that was actually done on national TV. You know what I mean? So they tried to come out and say that Chris Rock wasn't going to press any charges. They're not going to press any charges. But, that's still a very, very, possibility. Now, they go on to say the victim does not control whether or not the prosecutor should file charges. However, charges actually can and should be filed because the offense was against the state of California. It's not Chris Rock versus Will Smith in a criminal matter. The LAPD and the city attorney should not close the door on what was an obvious criminal offense and easily provable. And this comes by way, like I said, of one of the officials out there in LA. So that again, it is what it is. Let's look at any other situation. Let's just say, it was your kid's basketball game, right? And you got mad at one of the coaches. You go up there and you smack the coaches, but maybe the game was being televised or the camera caught it. That's assault, right? And in certain cases, that could be aggravated assault. That just is what it is. That's what makes me even lean. And I know people are trying to give it to me in the comments, like, man, you tripping, saying this was fake and this, that, and the third. That's what makes me lean to this whole thing being staged. One, because, like, ain't nothing, and it possibly the charges could come, but no charges are being filed. Chris Rock has very little to say. Later, Jada was laughing. Like, the whole thing just seems like a setup. And now, we're dragging into almost 4 or 5 days after this thing. I'm thinking, like, okay, 1 day, 2 days. But now every little storyline comes out. The cops at Will Smith's house. Jada Pinkett, caught laughing. Chris Rock takes the stage in Boston. Chris Rock, tickets spiked 300%. Like, all this stuff tied to, this awards. And we're not talking about Samuel L. Jackson. We're not talking about Questlove, winning, an award. We are on hiphopun.com. If you go check out our website, you can go see that we definitely covered that story about Questlove, winning. But, this is media. And I tell people all the time, like, yeah, people are going to cover it. Obviously, it's the hot thing. But just don't be distracted from what else is going on. Like you can, do two things at one time. You can scratch your balls, and scratch your nose at the same time. You feel me? Maybe that was a bad, expression, but you guys know what I mean, right? You can do two things at one time, and you can carry out two things. So don't, have this to the point where you're distracted from everything else that's going on in the U.S. and all around the world, because a lot of people are making those videos as well. That's the great thing about, I think, the internet. With YouTube and Google and all these different great sites out there, is that there's such a variety of information that there's so much stuff for you to peruse through that you don't have to just be stuck with one person's ideology or stuck with one person's way. You can listen to 10 different people and then come up with your own conclusion. So I implore people to do that, man. Look at some of the videos where people talking about other stuff that's going on. Obviously check, stuff for a factual basis, because a lot of information out there is false. But if somebody's bringing some real information, like something happened in Russia where I think they were saying they wasn't taking, a form of currency anymore. I think the U.S. dollar, they're not, and don't quote me on this, right? But I've heard that Russia is not going to take the U.S. dollar anymore for oil and things like that. So little things like that going on, around the world. Just stay vigilant, keep your head on the swivel, and just look at all different forms of news. Don't get caught up in the entertainment world and what's going on, because many times it is a distraction. I'll still maintain that I think that event was staged. I mean, what man just lets you come up to him and smack him? It just don't happen. Like no type of reaction, no nothing. And then even if you want to throw it out the window and say, okay, he was remaining professional, this, that, and the third, it's just too much that to me leans towards this being a staged event. And I honestly now, looking hindsight, a couple of days later, it makes even more sense, because there's so much stuff that is coming out of this. There's so many different layers tied to this whole smacking and this whole Oscar thing that, we could be here for hours kind of just going back and forth and talking about this, man. But I'm going to digress. I appreciate you guys. Definitely listen. Let's get this video up to 500 likes, man. Let's get this video up to 500 likes real quick. Only you can do that. So make sure you hit that like button real quick. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Also, man, make sure you guys share this video. You can share it on Twitter. You can share it on Facebook. You can text it to someone. You can email it to someone. And if it's your first time on the channel, if you've been on the channel, make sure you're subscribed and locked in to Hip Hop News Uncensored for more exclusive videos just like this. And not only news, we're interviewing your favorite celebrity, your favorite rapper, your favorite movie star, your favorite politician. We're doing all of that here on Hip Hop News Uncensored. All you gotta do is check the archives. I tell no lies. You never know who's going to be on the show next, so make sure that you guys, make sure you're locked in, you're subscribed, and you hit the notification bell, right? And select the option that says get all notifications. Take a second, double check, make sure you're locked in, hit that notification bell. I definitely appreciate you guys. It's your brother, Old Guy, man. Hip Hop News Uncensored. Over and out. Peace.